Hello, all you beautiful beings. Well, it's been a while since I responded to a right-winger in the sunken place. So I found this lovely little video in my Twitter feed, just neatly packed there like a hotel mint, by the user Some Black Guy. You remember Some Black Guy from the questions black right-wingers have for THWs, and from the Queer Kid Stuff video, that loathsome little scrote who's just begging for a kick in the teeth with a metal-heeled combat boot. Well, he made a video whinging about, Anne Hathaway, a celebrity who finally decided to use her, status and, white privilege for some good. I wonder what she did that was so wrong.
Supreme victory!
So I'm sure most of you know who Anne Hathaway is, an established actress, very fucking cute, but the thing is, she recently discovered her wokeness, and she said some pretty interesting stuff because of something that happened recently. So up in Oakland, California, there's a girl named Nia Wilson who was recently murdered by this white dude, and I think you already know where I'm going with this, but...
Why the fuck did you laugh? I mean... Child, since you're the one who loves to police other people's emotions and stuff, why did you laugh when you were talking about someone getting murdered on the subway? That doesn't exactly seem like a story that would tickle your funny bones. Unless you're a sicko. But, proceed.
She was stabbed to death, and it was very tragic, and there's a lot of public outcry, but people are focusing on the wrong things, and you know how the media does it. You know how the media likes to inflate the sweet racial divide, more polarization. That's exactly what's happening now. I want to read.
You literally called yourself Some Black Guy. Piss off.
This post from Anne Hathaway, and then you guys can get a feel for exactly what I'm talking about.
It's on! Race war! Race war! Race war! Race war's on, everybody!
He likes South Park. He's so edgy. Let's give him a hand, everybody. Really, what was the point of that? God. Proceed.
Murder of Nia Wilson, may she rest in the power and peace she was denied here, is unspeakable and must not be met here with silence. She is not a hashtag. She was a black woman, and she was murdered in cold blood by a white man. Here we go. White people, including me, including you, must take into the marrow of our privileged bones the truth that all black people fear for their lives daily in America and have done so for generations.
Miss Hoover, what's a hyperbole? What? Hyperbole is never used in, like, political or social rhetoric. For God's sake, you do it yourself.
White people do not have equivalents for this fear of violence. Given those givens, we must ask our white selves, how decent are we really? Not in our intent, but in our actions, in our lack of action. Peace and prayers and justice for Nia and the Wilson family. XX. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag anti-racist, hashtag no excuse, hashtag say her name, hashtag earn the right to say her name. First of all, I would like
To say thank you so much, Anne Hathaway, for being the ambassador and the voice for all black Americans.
Or maybe even black people around the world, and just saying that we all feel for our lives, daily, always. It's amazing how you know this, and I'm so glad that you're speaking on my behalf and everybody else's. I'm so glad that you know every single black experience, every single individual's lives. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, I had to speed through that because the little shit was just droning on and on about the exact same comment. Okay, well, once again, I think he's missing the point that Anne Hathaway's comment was perhaps a bit hyperbolic, but, speaking to a concern many black people have with regard to, violence against us, against black bodies, and how, and not just the violence, but the fact that there are a lot of times proper justice isn't received. Like Ayanna Stanley Jones, when she was, God, when she was shot to death in her own home while she was sleeping, and she was fucking 7 years old. There was the cop who shot her had received no punishment at all. Same with little 12-year-old Tamir Rice. His killer got off scot-free. Like there's like how it's not just a question of black people's fear of constantly being persecuted by white people in general, but like the fact that like if should something happen to us, maybe we won't always receive the justice that is owed to us. And you know what Anne Hathaway is demonstrating is just allyship, real allyship, not the res please version of allyship where you just call yourself, or a white person just calls themselves an ally to people of color, and it's up to people of color to coddle them and never tell them they're wrong. You know. I wonder if res please and would get along well with you. Probably. But please continue.
Dude, this is the shit that I'm talking about. This is the stuff that bothers me so much. You got all these white people that are so just in touch with their wokeness now, being beat over the head with wokeness. They're so about their white guilt that they think crazy things like this, because this is not an original thought. She's listening to the wrong people. She's listening to people that are telling her that all black people are oppressed, all black people fear for their lives all the time, when she can talk to multiple individuals and see that a lot of people, probably most black Americans, are actually chilling and don't even think about being afraid until you question them or maybe try to coerce them into thinking that they're afraid.
Child, contrary to the very low opinion you might have of other black people, most of us aren't stupid, and most of us weren't born yesterday. Most of us actually do understand the ways of the world. And most of us don't live under this delusion that if we adopt regressive and conservative worldviews, they're magically going to save us from racism, as you and that guy T and all those other morons I responded to in that video back in February seem to think. I hope to God that that's it, because that's a reality y'all can be woken up from, because anything else just scares me beyond belief. But please continue.
You're afraid, aren't you? Aren't you afraid you're a black person? Aren't you afraid you're going to be killed at any moment because of this isolated incident right here?
No. The reason I'm so annoyed by this because there is absolutely no connection that this was racially motivated. If you actually look at the case, and you don't have to look very deep into it, just the regular police report, or just read this article that I pulled up from CNN, and just to show you that they have absolutely no proof that it's racist, but obviously just because the guy that murdered her is white, everybody's trying their best to make that connection. I mean, they're actively trying.
I just want to point out it's not exactly like a super big thing, because I was able to find it pretty easily. This CNN report, Derek doesn't link below in his description, which, excuse me, just a heads up, journalistically you should do that. But please continue.
Even that there is no suspect and there's nothing. They don't have a genuine motivation for what happened. But there are other things to link to, like this guy is in and out of jail, a fucking drug addict, and he's also mentally disturbed because his parents said so. He's been in and out of jail and has not had the proper treatment. He's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, the family said, and they had to get a restraining order at one point for our own protection. Cal's been living on the streets. So you have this homeless person that's fucked up, bipolar and schizophrenic, and who knows, I'm pretty sure that has some type of connection to that, but they're trying to beg to differ because he's white. Members of the community had a range of opinions at the makeshift Memorial Wilson outside the MacArthur station on Thursday. I'm mad as hell, said Kayla Humphreys, a 20-year-old who went to the same high school as Wilson. She's black, he's white. He knew exactly what he was doing. So fucking people that are bipolar and schizophrenic have complete control of what they're doing. Or, is that the complete opposite of what it really is? The sad truth is that the media wants more division, more polarization because it gets the views. Would you?
Oh, please get off your high horse, you little sanctimonious prick. This really pisses me off. I'm sorry. You want to whinge about, oh my god, the media is so divisive. You have a freaking anti-FDW channel. You are not one to start lecturing anybody about division. No, I'm gonna keep going because, you know, when my dog pees on the carpet, I stick his nose at it. I show him what he did wrong. You don't get, you gave up that right. You don't get to lecture anybody else about division. And you featured yourself in a video about questions black people have for SJWs. You don't get to get on your high horse about, oh my god, why is the media dividing us? You get off on division. It's like sex for you. I gotta admit, that felt good. I'm not gonna lie. I feel better now. Oh, bye.
Give a shit, really? If it was just a regular isolated incident that didn't happen to be a white guy stabbing a young black girl, no, it wouldn't be good. It's just like, how many times do the media report on what's happening in like Chicago, for example? We all know that.
As eager as I am to listen to whatever your little sanctimonious tirade about Chicago is going to be, I actually kind of want to look at this article because, as much as you like to whine and bitch and moan about how, oh, the media is trying to turn this into a race thing, the CNN article actually ends with this quote from, Nia Wilson's godfather, saying that he isn't sure if the attack was racially motivated, but won't change the fact his goddaughter is gone. It says, quote, I don't know if it was racist, he said. I don't know if it was random. I don't know these crazies. I don't know what it is. I know my baby is dead, and it's a senseless death. And, okay, and I actually went through the article, I saw, like, the video clips, and I think what people are largely concerned about, the family and her friends, they're mad as hell, which is understandable. They lost someone for no reason. They lost, and yet you have to kind of pardon people if there's a little bit of racial tension in when we currently have a president who called literal neo-Nazis some very fine people, but and yet people are freaking out. People don't know what's going on. But I think the concern is more that they're hoping that Cowell, who was arrested and was charged, actually gets proper justice, which, according to his sentencing article, does look like it's going to happen, thankfully. So yeah, that's good. I'm going to link both articles below, so I want you to, because I actually do want people to read them. So, like, I don't really care what this little shit has to say about Chicago. I just want to get through the rest of this.
Care about black lives and really claim to care about the issues that are going on, you need to ask yourselves, what is the biggest problem? What is really happening? You need to look at the statistics, the numbers, and where the problems really lie, the heaviest concentrations, and realize that when people are trying to point this out, they're not trying to be racist or anything. They're not trying to just fucking victim blame, but they're saying this is what's happening. Looking at all these isolated incidents that the media focus on because they're juicy stories is not the crux of the issue.
Derek, let me ask you a very serious question. Why don't you make a video about black on black crime? Why don't you make a video, I don't know, about food justice that largely affects black communities and communities of color? Why don't you make a video about the MOVE bombing? Huh? Why don't you ever talk about any of these? Why don't you talk about education? How about the education disparities among black and white young people? I mean, surely you care about Black lives, right? I mean, instead of getting on this little high horse of yours and lecturing other people who actually are talking about those things, might I add, about what they should or shouldn't be talking about with regard to what's affecting Black lives, it could be a lot of different things that you never talk about because you're too busy whining about, oh my god, look at what Anita Sarkeesian said. Oh my god, look at what this celebrity just said. Oh my god, queer kid stuff. Oh my god, shut the hell up. It's like, and it's fine to not care about okay, I'm not gonna say it's fine to not care about those things, because it's not, and people not caring about them is part of the problem. But it's fine to not have a channel that's focused on that stuff. I mean, I don't watch exclusively channels that talk about, like, serious issues, but don't get sanctimonious about it and then lecture other people who are talking about stuff like that. Okay? Okay. Proceed.
You guys are being played. Look at what happened in this scenario. You had this homeless guy that is bipolar and schizophrenic and has been in and out of jail, and that is a drug addict. Maybe that's the reason why he did some crazy shit that people they don't really understand what happened. Maybe it's not just because he's a fucking white person. Maybe there's a bunch of crazy ass homeless people that do a bunch of crazy shit.
Oh, please spare me, because I'm sure that you don't really care to talk about issues like mental illness, or the shitty way that America deals with mental illness, or homelessness, or how piss poor we are dealing with that. It's like, if you don't care about those things, that's one thing. If you don't have a channel focused on those things, that's one thing. But stop getting freaking sanctimonious about it. Okay? Okay. Just, please, that's... And really, I think with this guy, I mean, I have all sorts of issues with all sorts of different Black conservatives, but my main issue with this guy is that he's one of those guys who's just like, well, why don't you focus on X, Y, and Z? Well, why the fuck don't you focus on it? And pay attention to people who are focusing on it, because, like, there are Black people who are focused on food justice. There are Black people who are trying to curtail Black on Black crime in their own communities. There are people who are trying to do youth outreach to prevent crime and to prevent, like, dropout rates and drug addiction. There's stuff like that. It's like, but you don't ever talk about that stuff because you don't freaking care. So stop pretending like you do. Good.
That guy needed help, and as the parent said, didn't get the proper help. But let's focus on something like Chicago, something that every time it's brought up, it's taboo, because it seems like it's racist or something like that, where there's a clear fucking problem, so many murders and homicides happening at an alarming rate, and none of you want to talk about it. None of you want to talk about it. Why is that? Because the media's not talking about it. The media's not making it a big deal. And you only bring up the shit that the media cares about. Anne Hathaway doesn't talk about that shit either. Doesn't seem like she really gives a fuck about Black lives, because there's a lot of Black lives that are fucking being killed all the time. But no, she wants to focus on this shit because it seems racially motivated. Oh, but it's not as juicy because Chicago, it's a lot of Black people killing Black people. Not racially motivated. Oh, it's thugs killing thugs. It's just a part of the plan. Who gives a shit? No one's gonna really care. Yeah, exactly. That's my fucking point. That is my point. That y'all don't really give a shit about what's happening. You're being manipulated, and I wish you would see through this shit. I wish people like Anne Hathaway would be smarter, because it sucks when you have these celebrities that have so much pull. They have so much just bravado. They have so many things going for them, and they can use their voices for good. They can use their voices for reason. Use a little bit of logic. Just introduce a little bit to the general population, and maybe it wouldn't be so bad off. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. But that's all to say about the situation. I'm gonna get out of here because I'm actually burning up. It's incredibly hot in this garage.
Yeah! Oh, you were trying to say something smart there, weren't you? Weren't you? Oh my god, that's so cute. Go ahead, try it again. Try saying something smart again. Come on, you'll say something intelligent eventually. Nothing? Nothing at all? Okay, well, the next time you try to say something smart, let me know, because I gotta record it on my iPhone. Okay? Will you let me know? Okay. You're so adorable. Trying to say something smart. Cute.
Oh my god, little scrote's finished. So, yeah. Ultimately, from what I've seen of the Nia Johnson case, it was an incident of from what I've seen, it's this drug out guy ambushed her and her sister, stabbed them, and she passed away, which does hurt my heart. And from what I got from the CNN article and the one about him getting sentenced, Cowell getting sentenced, the concern mainly seemed to be like that he wouldn't get the proper justice dealt out to him. That like, but it didn't really matter because I've wanted to make a video response to some black guy for so long because like I've seen like his shit before and like because like I made the response to the questions black people have for SJWs back in February and his fake concern for the safety of children with the queer kid stuff video, and it's just like a running theme is just like he can't. Is like his main problem is like he wants to just sanctimoniously shame others, but like doesn't want to educate himself on these issues. It's like because at the end there he brought up the fact that Cowell was homeless and mentally ill. It's like, okay, do you ever do anything to like educate people about mental illness or homelessness or anything like that? It's like, no, clearly you don't. Clearly you don't give a shit. Which, if you don't want to make videos about that shit, then fine, but, like, don't shame others for, like, talking about race, which is a serious issue. And, in fact, racism, ableism, and classism often intersect and amplify each other, and I should know. With all my, insert labels here, because clearly everybody hates labels. It's just, God. Clearly, I wanted to make a video because I was gonna make my weekly live stream on Saturday, but then the connection dropped and I couldn't get it back, and I was just really tired. I was just like, oh, whatever. I'll just make something else soon. And I actually want to do a video tomorrow. Tomorrow is Lamaz/Lunasa, which is it's a pagan celebration. I'm gonna make some cinnamon bread for it. It'll be great. I may make a video tomorrow. Yeah. But, anyway, rest in power, Nia. Peace be with her family. And, some black guy, please and sincerely go fuck yourself. And, to all my lovely viewers, peace, love, and stay hydrated as always.